Oh man, I just got back from the movies. Oh my god, it's so good.
I'm freaking out, dude. That was so fun. I loved it. It was so awesome.
My favorite part of Last Jedi is
psych. Just kidding, listeners. We're not going to do that to you. We're not terrible monsters.
Maybe a little bit, but not that bad.
Dude, guys, I've not seen it yet. You're playing games with me. Don't.
Wait. What?
Look, man, it sold out fast.
Oh, so you're going tomorrow, right?
It's
sold out fast.
Right? It's gonna be like a week. Can you bear with me for just a week?
What? A week?
Okay. Well, how about this? How about let's just record the podcast and then just don't talk to me for a week. Deal?
All right. Deal.
All right. To the show.
She loved me. 2 a.m. windows down, singing and driving far.
Well. We're back.
Wow.
It's the one time a week the three of us ever speak to each other.
A well and Star Wars pun. I couldn't think of anything in Star Wars that begins with well. So.
Gravity well, pulling out of hyperspace.
Yeah. Black holes. That's a Star Wars thing.
Do they have black holes in Star Wars?
There
might be some in the new one. No spoilers.
They do. And there's gravity wells. There's a ship in Rebels that has a gravity well attached to it.
Oh, like the interdictor.
Imperial,
yes.
And they pull people out of hyperspace. Anywho, welcome to Crucible Radio, your source for all things The Last Jedi. No, Crucible, PvP.
Yeah, it goes without saying that Swayne and I have been freaking out on the internet in various medias about Star Wars, but we're not going to talk about that because we're nerds about another thing that we care a lot about, which is the game called Destiny. We love it.
Destiny, as always, this week, like every other week, is eventful in the Destiny community. It's finally... We're past the lens meta, the week of the lens.
Oh, man.
Can we talk about that? Should we talk about that?
I mean,
how about I'll say this. I liked my experience of the lens because I went out of town on Wednesday night. On Saturday night, I called up the missus and I instructed her how to go find Xur. And she's like, there's guys shooting at me. It's like, it's fine. Just run past them. Keep moving.
Just keep going.
Space bar to jump. You got this. And then she's like, all right, I'm there. Which one did you want? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go broke. Give me the lens one. I came home and I had one night left to play it a little bit. And I thought, okay, yeah, seems fun for a night or so. And then they batched it. It went away. It was the ideal experience.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious that they sold it. I thought that was a nice great move in light of a bug. It made me happy to go for everyone to be like, what are we gonna do this weekend? And then
we're all gonna use it.
But yeah, I'm happy that we're past it and we got this new patch a week after expansion that brings good stuff, and the Crucible is a little back to normal, and I can start using all these new guns that I'm trying to get. And it's great. There's new stuff to practice and explore with.
That was the saddest part about it. It was not having any time, like not being able to even use some of these awesome new guns.
Yeah,
just like
you
staring
just
at it.
put on your fun new stuff.
There you go. I like that one, but I won't use it until a week from now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Lens will become the loot cave of the first year of D2.
Or like
the early D2.
Zach Smith class.
Yeah, right.
And hey, I did need the time to do a ton of public events. So at least I had the opportunity to do some PvE when I wanted to take a break from the laser show. And the raid layer came out too, which was more of my focus that weekend. And that was insanely cool. And grinding out for new guns, guys. There's not a lot of new items in our inventory. It's
not just
refreshing.
new items. We've gotten Masterworks to drop this week. It came with the patch on the 12th. They patched the lens. They updated some things that they intended to update, and they brought us Masterworks.
I've gotten 3 Masterworks so far. Love them all. First one was an Orthrus. That's a grenade launcher.
What?
Yeah, right.
A what?
Yeah. It's a grenade launcher. Second
Shards?
one was, I don't even remember what it was, a slug shotgun. Cool. Third one, another Orthrus. Not going great so far. Some people, I just see people posting like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to anti-happy better devils.
I got an anti-happy.
Oh my god, stop.
Got better devils.
It's like, all right, well, I got you on that Orthrus front. Covered there. I cannot wait to and realistically, you get a lucky drop. That's a special moment. That's a moment to go crazy and something to go for.
It's really nice that it's got that gold border. It feels exotic-y.
It does.
When it drops, you're like,
yeah.
Ooh.
So my question is, for the non-random drop, but for the first upgrade, and I'm asking everyone this, and people seem hesitant to answer
That's a good question.
to me, which is crazy because it's all I've been thinking about. What's the first gun you masterwork?
Dude, this is like picking which golden gun I get.
Which child is your
Dollar in the
favorite?
jar.
Well, the thing about it is that it's got to be a gun with longevity because you got the kill tracker, right? You want to put up a big number in the Crucible on this gun, so it can't just be a flash in the pan.
I just decided on mine.
Let's go. What is it?
Main ingredient.
Nice.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good. That'll.
That's
It's
good. See,
that would be a good one to know how many people I've killed with.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
agree.
That's true. I see. I have all these thoughts on it because I think it should be interesting. At least the first one that I pick, and not the one that drops for me that I end up keeping. I've dismantled most of mine. I'm thinking maybe I got to pick the best gun or my favorite gun, or what if I want to pick something that makes it more of a statement? And talking to our guest this week in a little bit today definitely makes me more inclined to make a goofy choice. But I was thinking Better Devils. And then I realized, I don't even know which one to pick of which kill tracker because I used up Better Devils so much in the raids. And I'd love to see straight up how many enemies in all of Destiny that I kill with that gun because I think it's just my sturdy go-to in PvE. So now I don't even know what to do.
I feel like we need to kind of cover what they are for a second here, and how they're beneficial.
Nah, we don't need info.
We're just talking about them, oh, cool, there's a Masterworks. To be there's someone out there right now that's the what? They've been been away for the past week or two, and they just got back. Oh, Crucible Radio, let me launch it up, see what's going on while I'm updating my computer. And you're like, what are they even talking about? Anyway, Masterworks.
It's a whole
Pretty
big
cool.
thing.
Yeah,
It's a whole big thing.
How do we boil it down? How do you boil it down to the simple stuff?
Masterworks is a special designation that can be applied to any legendary weapon, either by having one drop with the Masterworks upgrade already on it. Certain activities like trials, raid, endgame content seem to drop these more frequently. Or by dismantling enough randomly dropped Masterworks to upgrade a weapon of your choice. You get somewhere from 1 to 3 cores per sharded Masterworks, and it takes 10 of them to upgrade a weapon. Now, you can make a choice between Crucible and Vanguard, which is going to determine what kill tracker you get on it, whether it's enemy combatants or opponents in the Crucible. In addition to that, you also roll a random perk with each Masterwork, and this is going to give you a small stat boost to things like your range, your stability, your reload speed, your magazine size. I saw that Photoshop of Better Devils with the impact boost. Not real, apparently. And also makes them shiny, and it makes you love your gun extra, and makes you real happy, and then you're best buds, and you go off in the sunset together. That cover it?
Can I speculate wildly real quick?
Please.
Based off of a tweet by Christopher Barrett.
I was going to talk about these tweets too.
Oh my god, there's two. There's two, and they're in response to Giggs and Gathalion talking about how much they like Masterworks and how it's a good step in the right direction for those looking to grind and really min-max here. He responds with, I'd love to see Masterwork armor soon too. And a winky face. The winky face is what gets me. Masterwork armor would be awesome. And then he also said, I'd love to see a simplified and much more interesting mod system too. Winky face.
Both simplified and much more interesting. Yeah, I'll do a little of my own little happiness gushing about Curse of Osiris before we talk about some specific weapons. But I think for me, what I like about a grind is, and I think this ornament situation with the armor sets, like at Shacks, you can go get those ornaments for the Vanguard stuff, and the Masterworks is like maybe one of my favorite updates to Destiny, because those are like concrete things I want to grind for. I love those, like, it's a lot like the record book in the sense that it's not just sort of like check it off of a long list of do all activities at least 10 times. I love that I can see an ornament, go, holy shit, that's cool. Look what I need to do, and go like, awesome, I'm now down to do that. So I think it's cool, and the ornaments are sweet.
That New Monarchy Titan Mark ornament.
New Monarchy making a play for my heart this season. I don't like it.
And then Shaxx has like some crazy shit in his ornaments. He's got like feathers,
maximum feather Titan.
And lots of like chainmail. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I am never as focused and single-minded in Destiny as when I'm trying to put together a perfect armor set. Anything that can, light that fire is appreciated. I'm kind of torn with Masterworks. Like, do I pick a gun that's probably I'm going to use forever? So like, Uriel's or the number, positive outlook or something. Or do I pick a gun that maybe is not meta, maybe wouldn't be my absolute sweaty go-to, but I'm deciding that I'm gonna write a love letter to one gun that maybe is you don't see that much, and I'm gonna make it happen. I really hope that new Dead Orbit Valakaden Sandwasp auto rifle, Viced auto rifle. I hope that one is a killer, because that would be I would Masterwork Sandwasp if they'd let me.
Valakaden was my first Masterwork, and I dismantled it.
Yeah, right. I just you need the high caliber rounds. You need that Sandwasp. What can you do?
I might go with a scout rifle that Cammie's going to talk about later on. But it's fun. It's fun to have to choose.
It's fun. All right. Well, Curse of Osiris is out, and pretty good. Liking it pretty good. I don't think we've talked about him yet. I'm so in love with all the new shaders. They're weird, and they give you different options. But what is it? Is it Desert of Gold? Is that the
orangish one?
That's my shit right there. That looks good on every single gun you put it on. Amazing. Can't get enough of it.
I have to say that Metallic Sunrise is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
True.
And it's hard to go like, I can't put it on all three. I don't like my Guardians to look the same. Giving them each their own style, but they all look good in that, and I want to use it all.
Yeah. Shader game aside, we've all been getting some weapon drops, either new Curse of Osiris stuff or just stuff we just hadn't gotten until now. And I think, Bones, you and I both have the same gun in mind, a gun that we've had for a long time, but all of a sudden just tried and are way into, because, oh my God, it's so good. Halfdan, am I right?
I told everyone last week, and I'm not hearing enough chugga in the Crucible. But I picked this gun up like a week before the patch, and I don't really know what inspired it, but I was like, this feels good. I like this. I did a trials run with it. I'm like, this works. This is not bad. And then it got a stability buff, and as a dummy controller user, I was like, great. It feels great. And it's a cool gun. And Birds, you talk about it a couple times, but the fun ability to pair ranges with an auto rifle, one that kind of pushes the envelope on range on an auto and makes you have a fun little fast short range energy gun is really cool.
Yeah. I for me it's Halfdan just covering like the all right, get in position, shoot people, team shot, do that. And then stochastic variable, that has been my go-to for these past couple days when it comes to just time to close the gap, time to get in, push, do something aggressive, possibly stupid, but go in over the top. And I'm just loving that pairing. They complement each other so well. Mm-hmm. It feels like Halfdan was just like pulled out of another game. Like it came out of Call of Duty or it came out of Titanfall or something. It's not like other Destiny guns. And I can say, oh my God, finally Haka has like an identity for me that's meaningful that it never had for me before.
I just realized something because we were talking a few episodes back about how you'd love a Viced in the kinetic slot.
Uh-huh.
And I realized Haka is only kinetic.
Shit. Ain't that
That's cool.
Shit.
Anyways. Yeah. Oh man.
Isn't Haka got a sniper rifle though?
Well,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. All energy.
And
Yeah, I guess
launcher.
everything has a power ammo. Whatever.
Does Omelon have any kinetic? Is this just like a thing that's been staring me in the face the whole time that I didn't know?
No, it doesn't.
Shit.
There's what I don't know what we really call that. I guess faction like Vanguard and Crucible weapons seem to go into both. Otherwise, they actually are pretty reserved to each section.
Go
Cool.
fucking figure. There you go. The more you know.
We're very smart on this show. We know a lot about the Crucible and how the guns work.
Smart boys.
Oh yeah, I'm gun expert.
Gun expert Swayne. All right, you mentioned my favorite. We talked about this way back in faction rallies, the stochastic variable, but I think it is the season of SMGs. And there's some good ones that we all know about, and there's some new ones that I finally get to use now that I'm not blowing up to a laser. I have not put enough games in it. So listeners, this week I want to talk to folks about what they like about the new SMGs and which ones they think are strong. I think they're all strong. But man, I don't have enough time in the day to practice all of them. I finally got myself a showrunner. Now that I do strikes and I got some rewards. So I got my showrunner, which is a kinetic 900 RPM. And then I got New City, which is a new gun.
Ooh, well, I got the New City. I dig it.
It's got quick draw. It's got solid base stats and really, really strong range. And Taya P is really in its own sort of category in terms of range. It's like the Halfdan of SMGs. And it's a monster with that kill clip. But New City is one of those sturdy guns with really solid stats that just makes it feel really good. And then there's also the Atalanta D, which I've been calling Atlanta this whole time. And this is a 600 rounds per minute. So it's similar to the Entire P, but it's got tap the trigger, which is the perk I love on stochastic. And that's a solid SMG.
Love that perk.
They're just good. And that perk pairs with that gun, that type of gun so well. And then down in the energy slot, the Soul Pariah 6 from the Forge, another 900 RPM. It's got Grave Robber, and I think maybe there's something I can learn with Grave Robber. Lately, I've been realizing, like, as I'm getting a little bit better at like pushing the envelope about how close up I can play and not worrying so much about recovery and my safe shots from farther away, that maybe Grave Robber can come in handy when you're getting collapsed on, because reloading can sometimes be death. So yeah, maybe there's something there in that one. It's got solid base stats, but man, stochastic variable, tap the trigger, high caliber rounds, 900 RPM. It does the job.
You really sold me on the 900 RPM. I just gravitate towards Phase Mag whenever I get a chance with it. But on your advice, I kept it at 900 RPM, took the high caliber, and I think it might be specifically on stochastic, but I find myself trying to play to the perk of tap the trigger. And that 900 RPM is very, very effective in that situation. Like, you just get the increased stability on more bullets, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's. I find myself being able to comfortably get headshots with that gun. And the SMGs, powerful in 1v1s if you're up close, but like, yeah, they can be kind of the bullet hose thing. Just do whatever damage possible, get that finishing play. It's still very much a good aspect of them, but I find myself more precise when I have that little burst of stability, and it just does the job.
Can I, and this is not productive, but can I just bitch for a second about my submachine gun RNG? Because I'm looking at Dim right now. It is hilariously bad.
I got all of them.
Here are the SMGs I have. I have Risk Runner. I have the faction ones because it's hard not to get them. I have Mida Mini Tool. I have Red Mamba. I have Foggy Notion. I have Out of Options. I've got the 2 blue kinetic ones. I've got Sondok and I've got Philippus B. And I've got the Trials one. So basically the ones that are impossible not to get and the blue ones.
The ones that are handed to you.
I have gotten so many Death Adders and so many Out of Options. I get a Death Adder at least 3 times a day. Like they are continually rolling in out of.
You're not even playing. You get a notification on your phone from the Bungie app, and you log in. You're like, what? Postmaster, and they just give you
it's
one.
Just full.
I have never, and on PS4 too. I have never had Antiope drop. I have never had Atalanta drop. I've never had New City drop. I have nothing.
I'm picturing.
This feels very
Birds
much like
as a young Harry Potter and opening mail slot and like 50 red mambas getting poured into his house.
I was more so picturing Birds like George Costanza, like sitting across the table, like talking about his red.
I'm feeling
RNG.
Costanza-esque right now.
That's kind of what this show is, I suppose. Us sitting around a table drinking coffee and.
I'm just going to. They're going to announce a huge nerf to Antiope, and I'm going to get it the day before. This is how it's going to go.
I mean, as long as you don't put out like a YouTube review about the gun the day before the patch, then you're probably fine.
That'd be pretty silly. I don't even know anyone.
At least
So the other thing is there's a lot of grinding to do with these forge weapons, and I'm enjoying that. It's a lot of work. But I like having that visual goal of filling the ring, and there's a nice little mission that people are finding out this week. So I haven't got all of them, and I certainly haven't played with all of them enough, but I've heard really strong things about Jack Queen King 3 as a pretty faster firing hand cannon in the energy slot, and the sidearm. I don't even have the name of it in front of me, but it's a 3-burst with head seeker, and I've heard from some buddies that it's very strong. So I haven't used the 3-burst in a minute on PC, so it'll be nice to see if that archetype still holds up.
I got the bad one.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the bad one that nobody likes. That's the one I've gotten. I got
a Masterwork burst fire SMG from the Vanguard, and I was like, am I about to make this my new thing in the Crucible?
Right. No. Yeah, I love how you kind of have to go all or nothing. Like, I'm going to devote my life to this eulogy SI4 or bust.
I think about it every time when I get a Masterwork, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, maybe this is it. No, it's not. I'm not going to suddenly be the guy.
I'm trying to think of what it compares to in another game. It feels, I can't really like put my thumb on it. Feels like Pokemon in some way. Like you get like a shiny and you're like, I gotta use this, but it's like terrible.
Like, I got terrible stats and awful moveset on this.
I could be the Orthrus guy. Yeah. This could be me. This could. Hey, it's Burge. He's the Orthrus guy. Oh man.
You can't be the Orthrus guy because no one knows what the Orthrus is.
Yeah, right. Just.
He killed me with what?
Yeah.
Was that a mistake?
Yeah, that's me. Bounce shot birds. That's my deal. No fucking way.
You guys get any new exotics, gear or armor or weapons?
I got the bug helmet, and I haven't been able to execute a kill with it in the Crucible, but I did.
I was kind of impressed that it's a cool little thermite blast. I didn't know what it meant when I saw the perk. It's cool. Yeah.
It goes so far, but like someone can literally just be like standing there and just be like, oh, let me just step to the side here.
Yeah, I guess I won't walk standing in front of you.
Yeah, I won't just stand. I did, however, I was part of a survival match, and there was 2 people left, 1 person on the other team, 1 person on my team. And the person on my team got montaged with that helmet.
Ooh.
Guy threw up his shield, and it just like went right through the guy on my team. And I was like, oh, GG. That was great. Hope you saved that. I got that one. I've gotten like 3 pairs of the stand-asides.
Sure.
On Flux one like a couple times. I keep getting like, even though it didn't get fixed, but like, I don't know. I keep getting a couple duplicates.
Yeah, I was just going to say I need to hit up Zur. We're recording this before I've been able to pick up my faded engram.
I don't think I have enough marks.
Get something nice. I shouldn't ever complain about my RNG, at least not for a while, because I got my Ophidian aspect to drop first or second day of Curse of Osiris. I love that. I was so happy that it's in there. I wore it forever the second it came out in D1. I think I got it from the raid secret chest and everything like that. Never changed after that. And it's cool to have it back. I think it's a great exotic, and it does what I like to do, and be a little quicker with my energy weapons and stuff. I also got the Jade Rabbit, which I predicted would work well in D2. I think it does. There's something clunky about that rate of fire on a scout. And I think that limits its utility on certain maps. But when you get a map for a scout like that, I think it was really strong. I had a very good game with it on Emperor's Respite, or if that's what it's called. Respite. Whatever. Jeff Kaplan.
Jeff Kaplan.
Jeff Kaplan.
All right. I think that's that's like a quarter for the jar each, not a full $1.
Yeah. And nickel. But yeah, it's something. I can make it work, and I just want my vigilance wing back.
Yeah. Ophidian's nice. Like it's when you can get like a true utility exotic like that, it's hard to say no.
Yep.
I got Shinobus.
I'm always about those.
Like 3 times.
How do those feel in the new system?
They're cool. I can't say I ever felt a time where I realized like, oh my God, I got 2 skip grenades. The tracking is definitely better, but it's just not like Shinobu's D1. You're not getting chased across the map Axion Bolt style by a skip grenade. And I'm so completely addicted to Knucklehead Radar that it's kind of a hard sell to get me to stick with it. I got the Star Map Ghost. That's a tasty one.
Does it show you where all the stars live?
It shows you where all the chests live and gives you more Gimmer. And I got the selfie emote. So like I haven't gotten any useful exotics, but I got some of the fun, useless ones. And I have taken no selfies yet.
I think I need to get this damn laser out of the Crucible so I can play with all my new guns. I feel like I got held back for a few days, but I like having a bunch of stuff. I'm looking at my item manager right now, and I'm just like, yeah. I forgot this was buried on my hunter. I gotta try this out. And that's always cool. It's
definitely really nice to have a lot of things to lust for in Destiny.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a Zenobia D Masterwork Haka rocket launcher and be the guy in the Crucible that uses tracking rockets all the time, and I'll be
I can be tracking rockets, guy. Like that can be my thing.
I can
tracking Bonesy.
No one else is doing it. Tracking.
I got we workshop that one. I got one of the new hand cannons. I got Nature of the Beast, the new RPM, new recoil.
Yes, I have not seen that yet.
Verdict's still out. Not sure. It looks cool. I'm not sure yet. I don't know.
Same with me on Crimson. There's something interesting about that gun. I haven't cracked it yet.
What a great time to be alive. That is the kind of thing I like to be saying. I got it. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it yet because that means there's stuff.
Well, while we talk about all the stuff that we have gotten or have not gotten, folks, please let us know. What are you liking from Curse of Osiris, the new guns? Tell me what SMG you think is better than my selection, and just get more SMGs in the Crucible. It's awesome. We got a great interview for you this week. A guest is on the show who, finds interesting ways to make things work while complementing that with a really sound approach to the game and an understanding of strategy to make a gun that everyone thinks is impossible to use look very fun and very good.
But Bones, real quick before we get to the interview, we have a word from our sponsor this week.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
HelloFresh. Look, HelloFresh, it's a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers your favorite step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients. So all you got to do is cook, eat, and enjoy. It's so simple. All the ingredients are delivered right to your door in recyclable, insulated packaging and come pre-measured in handy labeled meal kits. So you know exactly which ingredients go with which recipe, and you got the right amount. The right amount is so important.
And HelloFresh offers a wide variety of chef-curated recipes that change weekly, including a classic plan, a veggie plan, and a family plan.
Better yet, you can choose a delivery day that works best for your busy schedule and even pause your account for weeks at a time. And also, the food is really good. The Hall of Fame customer voted favorite, you got to try the Juicy Lucy burger with tomato, onion jam, and arugula salad. Or maybe a premium selection for a nice dinner time upgrade. You're trying to class it up, impress somebody. You got to try the lobster ravioli and shrimp with tomatoes and tarragon cream sauce. Or you got kids, they're going to love the easy peasy ravioli gratin with spinach, thyme, and Parmesan breadcrumbs. I want to eat some Parmesan breadcrumbs. Why am I not eating Parmesan breadcrumbs right now?
Look, seriously, folks, like I am a stereotype. I am a guy who cannot feed himself or cook. And occasionally, I'll get inspired, but most of the time I'm not. This system, HelloFresh, like genuinely helps me explore things. I think I'd be eating mac and cheese and hot dogs if I didn't have outside influences helping me understand that I actually do like mushu pork and mushrooms on tacos. It's delicious and it's very possible and easy to make. It's such a great solution for someone like me who's just like, I don't know how to use these pans. And also, I just want to go play video games. It doesn't even take that long. It's super easy.
So for $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, just go to HelloFresh.com and enter the promo code Crucible30. That's CRUCIBLE30. Get $30 off. Wow. Check it out. HelloFresh.com.
Expand your taste buds, folks. Do it.
Expand your hand buds as you learn new cooking stuff for them.
Yes, my hand buds.
You can have that one for free, HelloFresh. Put that up in the header of the website. That's a gift from me to you.
Okay, folks, without further ado, we're going to do a little bounce a bend and song to do the noises that come.
Do.
The do, the music break.
You're fine, girl. Guys, I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 the other night. It turns out, and I really hate to admit it, that's kind of a really bad movie.
What the?
They got good music. Musical break!
Hey, this is Engineer Andrew here from the Crucible Radio team, and you are listening to Friend Group. If you like what you're hearing, you can go check them out at Friend Group Band on Twitter, or check them out on Spotify as well. Friend Group, 2 different words there, Friend Space Group. And if you want to be a featured musical guest on the show, all you got to do is send us an email with some MP3s of your music at crucibleradio@gmail.com. Thanks.
And oh, it's probably bad for me that I dream that you might be dreaming of me, 'cause I'm whether I should or not, with every passing thought, they might be
Welcome back everyone. It's Crucible Radio, and we are here with a very special guest this week. One of my favorite people to use weird weapons and love them and talk about them all the time. We have Cammie Cakes here. Cammie, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys?
Welcome.
Hey, man.
Oh, we're great.
Glad to have you. All right, well, let's dive right in. Weird weapons. What's up with that?
Right in. Yeah, why?
Dive
why do you do
on
it?
in.
What's wrong? Why do you do it?
I think everything has potential, and I definitely think Bungie are smart developers and have created things with a reason, method to their madness, you know? And so
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
someone saw me using a weapon at some point and is just like cheering in the studio. Yes, someone figured it out. I tend to think that everything has some untapped potential to it. And it takes sort of a special play style, a lot of practice, you know, something to get that. Imagine just like the state of snipers right now. People say they're useless, but if you were an aimbot, you wouldn't say they're useless. So the closer you get to aimbot status, the more useful they become. And you can sort of think about this for anything. Same thing with the Fighting Lion. You know, map knowledge, right? Know the maps, the angles, the geometries. If someone's weak, you try to bounce it right towards them, get the finishing blow, or even use it to lead targets based on what you get on your radar. The more you use it, the more success you seem to have with it. But people put it on, don't have success with it, and then immediately let it collect dust in their vault, and then wonder why Bungie hasn't buffed it.
See, this is why we have guests on this show, because like I do that and I'm like, I'll figure this one out, and I try and I'm like, I haven't got a kill with this in a couple games, and I put it away. That's why we have guests on the show, folks. That's why they're here.
That's actually it's funny, Cammie, because when Destiny 2 like kind of first dropped, John Wisniewski just sent us a message that was like, Fighting Lion, use it. And it was like, wait, what? Like that gun? I was like,
Yeah, and then we all used it, and we're like, it's still bad. Don't like it. Don't get it.
Ew,
and we all
sick.
saw that Destiny Fun Police video, and we went, all right, we're wrong.
Yeah.
I love being wrong about weapons.
I've been wrong about a lot of weapons. You really have to give them that second, third, fourth, even a fifth try.
Mm-hmm.
Always try to critically think about it, and eventually it'll just hit you one day. You'll wake up in a cold sweat and think, Cold Heart has in-air accuracy. And suddenly you throw on that Warlock floaty chest piece. And how do you prepare for something like that as just a normal Crucible player who's used to seeing, I don't know, in the community's words, Mida, Uriel's gift. Then you see someone shooting Cold Heart in the sky. Immediately everyone looks up, and then your team swoops in, saves the day because of that X factor. You know, how do you prepare for that?
I don't think
Yeah,
you do.
you don't have to be slayers. Sometimes you can be the distracting mascot.
I think that needs to be Bird's
Flying
new role,
with lasers.
floating Cold Heart from the sky.
I'll take it. All right, well, you are actually our very first guest of the era of Curse of Osiris. And with it, we've got some new maps, we've got a whole new story, and of course, we've got lots of new gear. I'm curious, I guess, along those lines of some of the oddball stuff people might not be onto yet. What are you liking in Curse of Osiris? What weapons are you using?
I mean, I made a top 10 list before Curse of Osiris, like the day before it dropped. Just curious to see how much it would change. Almost the entire thing has changed. Just to tell you, like, how much of a power creep I see. Like the Trials weapons in particular, very, very strong. And I'm all for sought after weapons, but these are almost to the point where I can't see myself using anything but those in their respective archetypes. Example, Purpose Scout Rifle, 200 RPM, kinetic, comparable to Mida Multi-Tool and maybe Mananin in the energy slot. PC brings a little bit of a different meta, whereas hip fire is more important, and this gun happens to have it. You don't necessarily need to spec into stability as much because aim assist isn't a factor. PC sort of has a different stability feel. So you get the best of almost every world. High handling, hip fire, and explosive rounds, as we know, is a fantastic perk for in-air accuracy, hitting people around corners, and so on. And it's kinetic. So we throw all that together, and I'm saying, why would I use any other scout if everybody likes to keep a certain resilience level that it's effective on?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everyone's just typical gear set can change what guns you use like that. And sometimes that doesn't change as fast as the weapon selection does when a new expansion drops, because people are just kind of set on their ways of their armor preferences by this point.
I wish people like were not set in their ways for armor preferences. Because I remember in Destiny 1, if you were a Titan or had a Ram, certain armor values would make hand cannons work that much harder. And to beat that, you could throw on a Doctrine of Passing, but not everybody wanted to do that. They wanted to stick with their AS Lunas and then complain that you're running high armor. I didn't get that. Adapt and overcome. How about you guys? What weapons are you leaning more towards on the Curse of Osiris?
You know, now that the laser show is over.
Oh, God.
That was fun.
It was fun, and then it wasn't, and I was like, I just want to use my SMGs. I also was like hinting kind of in jest on the episode last week about which gun I thought was going to be good, and now I just flat out think it's great and I love it, is the Halfdan D. And yeah, I don't know, maybe on paper it's not the gun anyone's going to gravitate when positive outlook in Uriel's exists, but that's my go-to right now, which I found it's really fun to just use something you don't see very often. A little bit of a hipster.
So I've started to reach the cap of vault space, right? To where I start moving weapons on my other characters to free up 9 extra spaces. And so I sort of have like my trash can list of weapons on my Warlock right now while I'm playing my Hunter. And I hate to say that Halfdan is on there. I couldn't like find what made it special. Doesn't mean it's totally
so
gone
good.
yet.
It's so good. It's like right at that weird archetype where it's just a little bit faster than like the Viced full auto scouts. It's really stable. It's very rangy. Like I like it because it sort of frees up the energy slot to let you play something close range with it. Just use an SMG and not worry about like not having your Uriels on. It's got a nice balance to it. And,
well, yeah, and we talk about, you know, giving something a 4th and 5th try. Like I had it on PS4 and I deleted it. I used it one game and I was like, no, bye. And I dismantled it. I got it on PC and I don't know what compelled me at all.
So I've heard recently that the high impact frame is an inherent high caliber round. Now, if they ever make another one of those auto rifles in the high impact with high cals with high impact frame, do they stack? Am I saying if I shoot somebody, are they going to be shooting the ceiling?
It's aggressive. That's got high caliber rounds on it. High impact frame. The built-in perk is this weapon is more accurate when stationary and aiming down sights. So if you want to just plant those feet nice and stable, hold perfectly still.
I'm about that 10 mobility life though, so I can't.
Strafe.
Yeah, that 0 strafe, 0 reaction time that I've got going for me is really benefiting me.
You'd be surprised though. Someone expects a strafe and you just take a knee. It's over.
I've not had a ton of interesting drops so far in Curse of Osiris. I had a lot of fun playing with the metronome, but I didn't have enough fun, so I put it away, and I'm never going to take it out again. I'm curious though, if which of the forge weapons you've unlocked. I mean, I know the hand cannon is an early standout there. Is there anything in there that you found that you're enjoying?
The hand cannon is certainly good. I saw there was an Omelon sidearm with Headseeker. There's a submachine gun with kill clip. There is a ricochet round submachine gun, which is a perk I like a lot, hitting people around corners, you know?
So much
also
fun.
gives bonus range for some reason. I think it's zoom. But anyhow, I think most of the forge weapons are actually solid. Maybe the exception being the Guardian Prodigy. That progeny, I forget how to pronounce it, but it just seemed like a basic bitch scout rifle compared to all these god tier weapons that you're getting from the forge. I'm sure I just insulted somebody's baby, so I'm sorry.
I actually like that gun, but I'm not fawning over it in the Crucible. I think there's just an overall sense of everything's really sturdy and solid in that group of weapons, and there's not some sort of, occasionally, they can be really strong, but there's not that obvious like this perk combo just flat out wrecks, use it all the time. They're just good, strong base stats kind of guns, and I can always appreciate that.
I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it really makes me appreciate the fixed roll system, as if one gun is made for the perks and the other is for the base stats.
Yeah.
Or are we all still going to chase our Lunas? Now our Masterworks.
I mean, I personally really like fixed rolls, but I don't want to.
Wish they were executed better.
I mean, I just, I like it. I don't mind it. I don't want to. I just don't want to stir the pot. I've been stirring the pot a little bit. But I mean, I guess sort of to tack on to the fixed rolls, we've got Masterworks now. Do you have any Masterworks, or have you just been getting Masterwork grenade launchers like I have? Follow-up question. Have you upgraded any guns to Masterworks? And either way, what's your first one? What's your go-to there?
I've had very bad luck with the Masterworks already, as you can imagine. If you want something, you will not get it. So
here, we created a lounge over here for everyone. There's refreshments on the table and shitty grenade launchers over there.
Yeah. Help yourself. Plus 10 range on that grenade launcher.
Yep. So I got the Pravina D gunsmith hand cannon, and that is one of my favorites. High impact plus hip fire. So on PC, you don't even have to aim down sights. Just get that 10 mobility strafe peek, hit them in the head, go back to cover. They may land a shot on you. They might not. You can be very fast with it. Anyhow, I was trying to spec an additional 5+ range to it. RNG had a different set of plans for me, you know?
As it does.
And so unfortunately I didn't get it. And the Pravina D is actually the highest in range of that archetype of hand cannon. So I figure if I can punch it even more, then I might be contesting weapons that I otherwise wouldn't. Because on a lot of these maps, let's just say Endless Vale, for instance, shooting from mid-map to mid-map in the center hallways near the tube. Even if someone has a multi-tool, a pulse rifle, whatever, and I have a hand cannon and I experience drop-off, as long as I'm peak shotting somewhere around 50 damage, the time to kill is still similar to that scout rifle or pulse rifle, as long as I'm peaking every time I have a shot available. And so when you think about it like that, if I can extend the range from 45 to 50 somewhere else on a different map, that opens up a lot of options for that gun. And that's why I would value the Masterworks on that gun in particular.
So that archetype of hand cannons, that one got, I believe, a slight boost to aim assist with this patch. Is that right? Yeah, improved base aim assist on aggressive hand cannons. Have you noticed a difference, or has that sort of cemented your love of these guns?
The thing about aim assist is I have made the complete switch to PC.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Well, there's still some aim assist, right? There's like the bullet curving, hitbox magic, whatever that is.
It feels like magic, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to sing on this. You can edit that out. Actually, don't edit that out. People will find that funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave it in.
I kind of feel like we're going to leave that
Perfect.
in. Okay, so you got the Pravina. What's next on the Masterworks list? What boost are you trying to chase?
The current snipe that I like to use is the Velita D. And I can't see what I really want to improve on it, but why not? An extra magazine.
Yeah, sure. There you go.
It doesn't need handling. It has quick draw. Doesn't need stability. It's PC. Doesn't need range. It's a sniper rifle. So what's left?
Oh, you get a little
reload?
Reload, maybe. Or magazine. So I don't have to reload. There's only 4 players, you know?
Yeah.
They're all dead. You don't need to keep reloading.
Exactly. That's why I don't use recovery. Because if I'm alive and they're not, I got plenty of time.
Life is so simple as an aimbot.
I wish. I'm working towards it. Like I said really early in the podcast, like the closer you get to aimbot, the more something works. You understand its potential. One day I will be there. Today is not the day.
Well, I like that though, because that implies, like, you know, the work put into this is as much of finding what works best for you and what works best in the meta as it is improving your own, you know, skills. And when you do both together, you find out what kind of player you can become.
Can't forget it's a team game. A lot of people seem to think it's completely individual, and it's not. As much as you see me having success with something like the Fighting Lion, there's someone in my comm saying, he's behind the corner, Cammie. Like, exact call out. They give me his GPS coordinates, and I lock it in.
So we've talked about PC a couple times, and I think before we dive into maybe some more heavy thinking strategy stuff, I'm curious about your PC setup. Do you do anything weird with key bindings? Are you pretty straightforward? Do you
this will require a little bit of an explanation.
Yeah,
college student budget, as college kids do. You know, ramen noodles every day kind of stuff. I don't have the best desk setup, so I use like a bunk bed desk kind of setup. And that being said, I don't have a lot of room for a full mouse pad as you would want with an FPS. So I use a keypad. Razer makes a keypad. And it's interesting because this keypad has like a not a mouse wheel, but it's like an 8-way directional pad. And I've linked a lot of the same button functions of crouch, melee, class ability to this wheel so that I can choose between jumping and meleeing and sliding and meleeing simultaneously. And a lot of combinations of things that you want to be able to do while strafing. So it gives me options, but occasionally you kind of have that brain fart where you just panic and don't know which one to use, whether it's the jump melee or slide melee, and you just die sitting there with your pants down. So one day I will be very, very good at that, making that decision. Sorry, I still need work on mouse and keyboard. I'm a console scrub.
Hey, well, you're talking to 3 console scrubs.
I haven't even stopped using my controller.
No shame in that. I love that Destiny 2 is plug and play.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a nice job, like switching back and forth. Yeah, the thing with the key bindings that I realized early on was like, there's a bunch of new or like sort of Destiny specific actions that aren't just part of like the standard key binding set, you know, in PC shooters. And I realized like, okay, whatever setup I'm going with, I got to figure it out just right. And then I need to exclusively play it and not change anything. Cause like once I get crouch tied to that one mouse button, I am not going to be able to unprogram my head going forward.
I have that issue too.
And then I gave up altogether and stuck with controller. But
I think you should give it another shot. There's no ranked. There's nothing on the line. You got nothing but time. And I mean, if you're bored with the game even slightly, consider it a new game. Because it really is. Some of the things you can do. I sucked at first. Like, I'm going to admit it. Like, I was garbage with mouse and keyboard. It didn't take long. It's just persistence.
Well, I'm curious. I mean, like technique-wise or sort of playstyle-wise, has your playstyle changed since you've moved to mouse and keyboard? Are there things that are easier there that you find yourself doing more?
I'm going to say movement-wise, I was much more comfortable on a controller, and I need to catch up movement-wise. But because my aims improved so drastically with the mouse alone, it's offered a lot of new technical things to do. Like one of those things, you're going to laugh, is to slide, shoot, then shoulder charge. And on console, you could do it, but on mouse and keyboard, you can do it consistently and accurately. So instead of it being some, you just activated my trap card kind of random thing to do, it's like, I can do this every time. Good luck.
I never even thought about that. That's pretty interesting.
There's a slight difference between controller and mouse and keyboard inputting with the sword hilts. I use a lot of sword hilts to redirect movement and make my character model like dip in and out of cover and stuff like that. It's also nice for melee combos, but on controller, it goes where you're actually moving. Like the swipe moves where you're moving. On mouse and keyboard, it goes where you're looking. And so as you can imagine, if you want to pull off the same controller movements on mouse and keyboard, you need to be flicking side to side, giving your YouTube and stream audience a seizure.
Okay, this is interesting. We got to talk about this. What is up with the sword hilt? You are getting a lot of mileage out of that sword hilt. What kind of stuff are you doing with it?
This went all the way back to Destiny Year 3 Game Battles 1v1 ladder. My friend Invicta TV, shout out, was very, very successful in using a sword hilt, and I always like look to improve myself, so I sort of borrowed that strategy and made it my own as well. And what it really comes down to is playing it safe. Imagine that your opponent is an aimbot, will never miss their shot, and think of Destiny Year 3 meta. What was it? It was grenades. It was fusion grenades, skip nades, you name it. So if you can set yourself up in a safe angle, like so think of the map Bannerfall, the Finn in the middle, and someone's on one of the top catwalks. You could pick a couple angles there with the sword hilt where they cannot see you, and you can safely sticky grenade them. Even if they had perfect aim with the icebreaker, hand cannon, whatever, it didn't matter. I'm safe in cover, third person, and can hit you with a grenade. Now, in Destiny 2, you don't get that much of an advantage, but it's still an advantage, and it's still worth using. And I think with me using a sword hilt, it frees up one of my teammates to play the role of picking up power ammo almost exclusively. And I work more as I have the ability to go third person at a whim and move around. I'm going to give you extra information that most teams aren't going to have access to. That, and then you can like spam the sword hilt up close melee and get a faster melee if you combo it correctly.
That's true. So it's getting that extra visibility from third person. It's doing fun little sword hilt melee tricks. Are there other components to it? I mean, like, does it change your movement game? You were sort of talking about that earlier.
It does change your movement game. You know, when you have that like fast velocity fall that's going to hurt you, if you sword swipe right before you land, you can survive it. No problem. You know, the Sunbreaker melee glitch still exists where they can launch you across the map. There's been clutch moments where I pull out the sword and like, not today.
Just get back in it. That would scare me if I was a Sunbreaker. Well, when I'm a Sunbreaker, I'd punch you. Yeah.
So one of the things you could do, I binded my weapon switch to the scroll wheel. I click my scroll wheel, it pulls out the sword hilt. So you can slide out of cover, shoot them with your very high impact hand cannon. We're talking burst damage. Switch to the sword simultaneously, completely 180 whip, and swipe back into cover. And because you're sliding out, you can instantly redirect your movement backwards again. On controller, it's effortless, because remember, you swipe where you move. But on mouse and keyboard, it's very, very fast and fluid. A lot of muscle memory training. It's very annoying. I haven't mastered it yet. I'll get there.
The face I'm making right now is that Zach Galifianakis gif from Hangover where he's doing all the math. But I don't know if I'm solving anything, but that's me trying to comprehend that. That's fascinating.
There's a Korean 7-year-old who's putting us all to shame. Just like, you just figuring out about this now.
I mean, you could pretty much say that about everything in life. Like, no matter how good you are, there's some 7-year-old kid who's way better. Just give up. Well, okay. I want to get a little bit more into some of these techniques, but before we're off the topic altogether, you've talked about swords. You mentioned snipers, and you also mentioned sidearms. I do not see a lot of people using sidearms. I mean, there's a couple standouts, but it just doesn't seem like a go-to. Like when you're in that range, you see a lot of SMGs. You see sometimes hand cannons doing the same thing, or just people using that same auto rifle for everything. Tell us about the sidearm. How does the sidearm fit in your playstyle?
Do we all agree that the Last Hope is pretty good? We use it.
Yeah. Okay, last hope aside, all the other ones.
All the other ones. You can't forget about the Last Hope though, because like that one pretty much renders all the rest of them useless, even with the 3-frame nerf. And I'm glad Bungie is taking a gradual approach to nerfing, but I think it needed a little bit more because of the potential burst damage of a burst sidearm, peeking in and out of cover and so forth. Mm. Okay, now that being said, let's talk about sidearms. Pick your loadout to the map and to what your team's using. You want to cover as many ranges as you can in your loadout. I know some people really like to do the 2-hand cannon life, but I feel like you're limiting yourself by not handling those longer or point blank engagements. And sidearms facilitate that point blank engagement. So if you pick a medium range map where there's no long range sightlines that exist, or you're going to choose not to take them, consider something like the Number auto rifle, 450 RPM. It'll touch all those ranges without even getting a range drop off. And if it does get that odd 1 or 2 range drop off, it's got glass half full to restore that fast time to kill again, on top of ricochet rounds and so forth. So what do you use? You got medium range covered. You could go a submachine gun in the kinetic, like the Antiope D, which we know is good, or we can choose to complement our melee distance, which is going to be those sidearms. And that's where they shine, is melee distance. Now, I struggle with mouse and keyboard to aim up close, but on console, PS4, I was at home with sidearms up close. Hip fire, point blank.
Aside from the Last Hope, are there any standout sidearms that you find yourself gravitating towards?
As soon as the Last Hope gets a slightly more significant nerf, I think the Rattler is going to come out in full force. With that time to kill of kill clip, plus some headshots, you're looking at the fastest time to kill in the entire game. And just let somebody practice with that for a little bit. You're going to see those hero moments that everybody seems to think doesn't exist in Destiny 2 happening way more often than you think. Devour, Rattler, kill clip, slide in. I could see it happening, no doubt.
You heard it here. You heard it here. Okay, I do want to jump into some head games, some mental game, and simply just playing smart, because I think you do that well and you make content that demonstrates that well. And that's just an awesome resource to have. So let's talk about we'll start with team play. You mentioned that this is a team game and everyone kind of plays solo every once in a while, but what about team play can you use to your advantage that makes you put those plays together?
Everyone sort of thinks that when you say team play, you mean conjoined at the hip, team shotting a single lane. That's not it. A lot more goes into it. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm the first to think of this. I've certainly seen it used in Counter-Strike well, and considering that my favorite mode is Countdown, this system works perfectly. We have someone who's looking to getting engagements, an anchor, a flanker, and a power weapon player. And I try to interchangeably get teammates who will pick one of those roles and stick to it. And if you want to interchangeably switch in the match, do that. But just know that if you have all those covered, you can have your leading guy slide in, get his shot, call out what's happening while it's happening. Your flanker is already working on his angle, usually a Night Stalker or something to go invisible. You got your power ammo secured. Now you can control the map with it and consequently control the objective. And meanwhile, the whole time, you're just trying to make sense of all the callouts happening at once. And the more you do it, the more synchronized it gets, the more you can play as a team. And no, it's not just team shotting. It's simultaneously peeking multiple angles to give even an aimbot no chance of surviving. And that's why we were able to use Cold Hearts against the Prometheus lens. Granted, they were probably average teams at best, but you gave them God guns and we still somehow succeeded. And that's, I think, a testament to the team play.
So yeah, I mean, you call out sort of three different roles there. You sort of have your anchor players who are starting the push, kind of setting the front line. You have a flanker who's going wide to get an angle, and then you have your power ammo player. What's sort of the mission statement for each one of those people? What should you be trying to do in each one of those roles?
I'll start with the power player. Stay alive. If you have power ammo, you make the enemy team play around you. Nothing is scarier than a sniper scope. Like, you will check your angles twice if you think there's a sniper out there. And what I'll tell my teammate is, even when you're out of ammo, maybe even look at them again with the scope. Put the fear of God in them. We've had situations where I had a teammate pull the sniper, and as soon as he pulled it, I aimed down a lane with my own sniper rifle that was empty at a group of 4 people, and they scattered like rats.
That's funny.
It is so funny mind gaming
that's
people.
Very funny.
But the most important thing you can do is stay alive. If they see your name in the kill feed and they know you had power, they're going to instantly get more aggressive, a lot more confident in their engagements. It doesn't matter if it's a sniper, a shotgun, a rocket, a grenade launcher, anything. Stay alive with that power ammo. This is why I like giving hunters it, because they're a more selfish class. In Biz Dodge away, you're good to go. Now, the anchor is really looking to keep his teammates together, like the house mom over here, making sure that everyone will spawn up in some logical, predictable sense. As long as you stay back, you're looking to try to team shot at all times. And these players will generally have the highest KDs on a team. And I think that's what leads to team success, is like throwing all that talk of KD, win ratio, ELO, and shit out the door. We don't need that here. The anchor player is going to naturally have a higher KD. The person looking to start engagements is going to have a naturally lower KD, but they're both equally valuable in the team sense. So once you stop looking at it that way, you can sort of let everybody do their jobs, and you're going to see your win percentage as a unit go up. Did I miss a role here?
Well, of course, we've got the flanker off on the side.
The flanker, I'm going to say, has to have very, very strong game sense of looking when and when not to engage, and the only way they get that is from playing a lot with their team. And they also work with the callouts given to facilitate map movement.
Yeah, and this is I think probably one of the more interesting ones, because sort of flanking by default was, in casual D1 PvP, not a bad strategy. I mean, easy enough to move around to the side, and even if you didn't get your timing just perfect, you could still be effective, especially if you got your shotgun on you, whatever. And that in D2, the mistakes by a flanker are they're punished so much harder. I mean, you're as liable to tip off the enemy team that you're by yourself, and they can just collapse on you and your plan from there. Yeah, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things. First and foremost, I'm going to say it's a lack of verticality on maps. If it's 3 lanes, there's only so many places you can appear. Next, it's the time to kill on weapons. Not everybody is using the fastest TTK weapons, and they're not hitting all precision headshots. And so naturally, you're not going to get a fast time to kill. You're not going to do a job of wiping a team because you just don't have the firepower to do so. So that's why we have abilities.
And if you carelessly waste your abilities, whenever you have that golden opportunity flank, you're going to wish you had a grenade. That's a potential team wipe. So don't just carelessly toss your grenade across the map D1 style. It's not going to fly in D2.
Yeah, they don't come
unless
back
it's
as
a
quick.
pre-nerf pulse nade.
Oh, you just called out like one of my worst habits that's carried over for sure. And it's like,
You know, I'm sorry. I don't mean like any ill intent at anybody who does this. Have fun, play your game, whatever. We're all here to have fun.
Yeah, we're all here to get better though. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but it's like, man, like that's my weakness is when I just play, quick play by myself. I do love that time to zone out, but I'd let bad habits come back and just throw, tossing grenades like maybe they're there. At least I stop them from going that direction is like just not as good as using the grenade to help you with that damage or to actually, put people on their toes a little bit more. So being more conservative with those and just smart with them could really help me.
I think that there's also some beauty in the flank is that you don't even have to get a kill. You just have to be the thorn in their side, the distraction. If they think somebody's coming from the side, half their attention is on that guy on the side, half their attention is the guy in front of them. I would say that's a pretty difficult situation to hit your shots in, not knowing which one to prioritize when.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big part of, I think, just setting off their radar. I mean, I know personally, if I see I've got, 3 segments of red around me, like, on spanning more than 180 of the radar circle, that makes me make bad decisions. I'm not thinking about my escape route or if I'm going to fall back and try and survive where I'm going to go to. And it's kind of easy to lose track. So I think, yeah, even if you don't peak as a flanker, you can still kind of apply that pressure and throw them off, like you say.
I think it also raises the fact that it's a good habit to have radar awareness. I think the radar in Destiny 2 is very generous, almost warranting toning down. Might be at the cost of fun, but we'll see. But people really, really got used to the multi-tool radar. And now as that's sort of shifted away from the meta for reasons unknown, you want to pop in and out of your scope to just always check it. And you don't want to get that bystander effect where you just expect your teammates to do it. You should be doing it too. Otherwise, everybody thinks that, and then you get flanked and destroyed by a pulse nade.
How are you implementing supers into each of these roles? Like, is there a set time in the match, like in a Crucible match, that you're going to start pushing them?
It depends on how the match is going. If you have the first super, I say use it. It's uncontested. You're making orbs to give your teammates uncontested supers. And as long as you have a lead, the enemy has to play to you. Especially if it's a non-objective mode like Clash, you can just run away after you have your super lead.
Mm-hmm.
There are some supers that, in my opinion, are completely useless. Like the, guess.
Don't say Dawnblade.
It's not. I'm just curious where we stand before I insult anybody's baby.
Well, here on Crucible Radio, we're insulting babies left and right, apparently. Fuck your baby. Your baby
the pulled
sucks.
answer is absolutely abysmal in my experience. Like, it is more useful for me to save it, to purposely pop it, to make somebody use their Night Stalker tether or Nova Bomb just to kill me so that one of my teammates doesn't get Nova Bombed and they're better super.
It's tough. On Hunter, I'm so hooked on Way of the Wind. I just I love the
it's such a good
recharge
subclass,
effects.
but the super, it just cannot close gaps the way I want it to. And so then I'm left trying to hunt for a right trigger stomp and nobody wants to come near me because I'm in a super.
They know better. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm so sick of whiffing my Arc Strider that I just I'll save it to keep somebody off of power ammo or keep someone off an objective to cap a point and control. I'm probably not going to get any kills or get more than 1 kill with it. At least I can say I got this power ammo out of the deal.
Ooh, I thought of an idea with the supers that's worth mentioning. The best time to start worrying about a super is when you're 90% to the super, because you want to be basically on top of the enemy without them having any idea that you're about to get a super. There's a lot happening in a game, and it's very unlikely they're actually tracking where you are in a super. And the Voidwalker top tree is actually very special for this, because they can purposely devour their super away so that they can have it at a certain key opportunity that only you can predict. Nobody else can.
Interesting. Yeah, I generally see that super meter pop and think like, all right, time to get in position, time to get something out of this super. Did not occur to me that that decision really should be happening before that, so they're not reacting off of your yellow square.
This also brings up suppressor nades and the bubble, the warded dawn. It's the only super that you can decide defensive or offensive on the fly. And that alone makes it powerful, let alone you get something that cancels other supers. Obviously like the Sentinel Defender a lot, but I think you can see its usefulness.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you had mentioned one other thing along the way there, and I mean, to be honest, just trying to do a good job is probably one of the most important parts. But you mentioned call-outs. It's fun to listen to when you're in full-in call-out mode with your team because there's so much information being passed around. For people who are still new to it or just learning it as an instinct, what should you be doing with your call-outs? What kind of call-outs you should make and when do you make them?
Here's a simple one that I think everybody can add to their play. I call out numbers. As we know, a Guardian probably has up to 200 health, right? If I call out a useful number from a weapon tag or grenade tag, whatever, it lets my teammates do quick maths to determine how much health they have left, and that will help them with their decision making. For instance, if somebody says 70, I know they did 70 damage, probably an aggressive hand cannon shot, and I know I'm game to peek around the corner with the snipe. And I can be a scrub. I can aim for the body knowing that I'm going to kill them. And they might send me hate mail, can't headshot worth shit, but I'm sorry, I worked with the information I had and took the more guaranteed shot.
That's a really good point. I mean, I still make a lot of like the tag call out with a grenade, tagged 1, tag 2 or whatever. But it's not like D1 where that's, you tag someone with a lightning grenade and you don't have a lot of work left to do. You really, tagging somebody for 60 versus 90 versus
even the Fighting Lion, man, before the buff, tagging it for 30 changed the number of bursts you needed on the Nightshade Pulse Rifle. And so that immediately was just a confidence boost. And to them, they're thinking, oh, it's only 30 damage. I can still beat this kid. They slide around the corner and lose, and then I get kill clip to destroy the rest of their team. Maybe.
That's a good point.
But it's really helpful calling out numbers for your teammates. It doesn't matter what it is. Also, the amount of people in Arc Bolt tags or something, you just say 90 times 3 or 3 tag 90. And everyone sort of gets what you're explaining. And you don't have to say push in. They can decide themselves right then and there if that's worthy of pushing in. Because maybe they have like a pulse nade and can hit all 3 again and keep them from healing. That's another thing. Explosive rounds, calling your numbers. Everybody likes to run recovery and stuff like that. If you can burn them with an incendiary nade, hit them around the corner with a lion, hit them with explosive rounds, whatever, that 10 recovery means nothing if you keep peppering them from different angles.
That's really interesting. I've been thinking about something I think Keen Koala mentioned where like the metric you shouldn't really care about KDA as much anymore. It's just not as important. I mean, everyone's going to be getting a lot of assists. Really, you should be thinking in terms of damage dealt. And I guess when you sort of make the switch from like chasing down your kills, finishing people off, like, just getting that final kill to boost your KD up a little bit versus just trying to put out as much damage into the enemy team, knowing that with recovery sort of set the way it is right now, that's really the best contribution you can make. And even if, you don't push, you don't get that, take that risk and clean that last 10 health up from somebody, that if you're consistently putting out and keeping track of a lot of damage, you're positively contributing.
Yeah, I mean, during all that being said, I just thought the most evil thought I've thought all week, and that is they nerfed the Promethean lens in damage, but it still wallbangs. So why not just use a medium range gun like, I don't know, the old fashioned, and if you see they're weak around the corner, just spam and pepper the Promethean lens again.
You're going to be that guy using the lens
like where you're going
after laser tag's over. It's going to happen.
It's going to come back already. Luckily, Zer sold it.
So we've covered a lot of sort of core strategy. I mean, these are things that you're doing every time you play. Looking specifically at trials, and you had mentioned, your favorite game mode. Do you have any trials specific advice or any extra strategy there that is helpful for for getting the win, getting to the spire?
It's going to sound like common sense, but it really isn't if we're saying it here, and that is play the objective. Your goal is not to ego boost 1v1 beat somebody. Your goal is to prevent them from defusing the bomb. So if that means saving a nade, running like what the community would say, a pussy, a little bitch, you run away, you lob that nade from across the map onto the zone. They can't defuse while there's a void wall grenade or a vortex nade on the plant. It's going to blow up. You win. No gun skill necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the number one tip for Countdown. Play the objective. And that's kind of why I dislike survival in a sense, because it's more kill based, less objective based. I guess I just suck at shooting, so that's why I like Countdown.
I was gonna say, like, we should, we have that game mode for the people who have aim and can slay, and then there's the game mode where you just get to play with crazy strategies and you using weird stuff like putting up barriers and being that person that just makes it impossible for someone to get to the point. It's a completely different type of play, and that gives it a ton of strategy to it.
So the nature of the matchmaking is that you never know when you're going to play a good team, right? You don't know if that team you're playing is amazing. You don't know if their account recovery is whatever. So good habit to have is even against bad teams, because always practice how you want to play. If they give you an inch, take a mile. If it's a 4v1, the usual call out's going to be collapse. What are you guys doing? Collapse. You can handle this, right? No, don't. Work as a team, get all that super energy, and laugh your way to the bank. He'll eventually realize when the clock's timing down that he has to make a play. He's like, oh shit, these guys aren't going to hunt me down. We've actually had people jump off the map to kill themselves faster. And you try to chase them off the map, tag them once so you get that kill energy too.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not crazy. I'm always saying that, like, I'm just taking credit for your suggestion of something I do.
It's not my idea,
but it's like,
I've had a lot of great players teach me stuff over the years, and I just take what I like.
It's I love that. I love being in that spot where I'm like, I see that one guy turn a corner, and I'm always calling out like, just let him go. And then someone's just going over there and kills him, and I'm like, okay, fine, we do technically win, but what if we charged our super for 30 more seconds? I don't know, just me.
It doesn't irritate you until you lose a 6-5 round where you could have did that the previous 5 rounds and have that not even be an issue. And it may be boring to some to play like that. I just think it makes you a better player overall.
I mean, you're telling me that I have to not immediately chuck my grenade at the 50-50 at the start of each round and not relentlessly chase everyone down. This is out there, but
I'm all for fun modes being introduced to the Crucible, but this is my kind of fun. This meticulous strategy building, team shotting, playing the objective kind of Destiny. And I didn't get that from Destiny 1. I'm so glad they added Countdown. Mayhem's coming back. Rumble's coming back. So all of our prayers will soon be answered.
Oh, how I've missed them.
I just want Inferno, but no one wants me to say that one.
I want Inferno too. Don't worry.
All right, Cammie. Well, we have covered a lot here tonight, but I kind of get the feeling that you're onto some stuff that other players are maybe not thinking about. Parting thoughts. If you had to give some advice, whether it's about getting good or exploring every aspect of this game, what are people missing out on?
Again, we laughed, or not we, but the community collectively laughed at Deej a few weeks, month ago, whatever, when he said the friend game, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, the friend game is how you get good at PvP. No joke. So whenever you're solo queuing, you don't necessarily have to play your best all the time, but play like the teammate that you want a teammate as. Be the teammate that you want to be. And if you do that and see somebody who really clicks with your play style, start inviting them to games. Really add them to your friends list, start a roster, start adding more teammates to play with, and you will learn something from these people. Even if they're worse than you, they might say something that just makes sense. Like earlier with the Prometheus lens thing, I didn't even consider that even in its nerf state, it's still useful. So get some friends. I know you can do it.
Very well said, sir. It's tough, but you can go out and get it done. Cammie, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You look at the game from a very interesting and thoughtful perspective, and hey, that's what we like to do here on the show. So kindred spirits, and you got a lot of great resources out there. Speaking of which, if someone wants to find you on the internet and observe these crazy sword strats that you're talking about, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/CammyCakes Gaming, Twitch.tv/TheCammyCakes, or if you want to annoy me, Twitter.com/CammyCakesYT.
There you have it, folks. You have resources right there to get better beyond this show. It can be done. And Swayne, you have to go do mouse and keyboard now.
Yes.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah, go for real, guys. Go check out Cammie Cakes YouTube. If you see the number 10 or the word top in any of the video titles, just watch it. I'm telling you, there's something in there you haven't thought of. Excellent stuff. Thanks so much for coming on the show, man.
But if anyone could have anything to make their life more worth living, it's to be loved.
All right.
That was a wonderful interview.
Primo interview.
So much to try.
That Cammie is ready to go. That guy has been thinking and he's been
Buns,
doing.
what did you think about that interview? Oh, wait. He hit stop.
Bones, you don't hit
So he
stop
can't
at this point.
participate in the outro like a nerd.
He can't respond on air when I call him out for being a real doo-doo head. A real T1 top shelf doo-doo head. Oh, shit. He's calling me. Hold on. Let me put you on
Ignore
speaker. Better go fast. My phone is dying. My phone literally said power off the moment I hit the pickup button. You got about 2 seconds, and I don't think you used them well. Sorry, Bonesy. Swayne and I doing this outro.
We win. Anywho, we should probably outro the podcast at some point.
How we do.
It is the holiday season. You are probably going to be you're buying some last minute gifts this week.
Yup. Let us help.
Head on over to crucibleradio.com. Buy them a nice Crucible map. No, you can't buy a map. Buy them a shirt, a hat, mug. Mugs are great Christmas gifts for like that one person in your family who you like feel obliged to get a gift for, but you're like, shit. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you, Bones.
Yeah, no peanut gallery this week, Bones. You hush your mush. Thank you, AK, for introducing that phrase to my life. Or, hey, look, maybe it's the holiday season and you want to get yourself a nice gift. Well, Control Freaks is having a great sale. Use offer code Crucible and get, I forget what the percentage is, but get even more off. And like, look, it just makes your controller life better.
Speaking of controllers,
We're
Scuff.
just doing every plug this week.
Just do all the
Scuff
plugs.
Gaming. It's the holiday season. Spend money. And enter offer code Crucible at checkout. Get a little Scuff action.
And if you want some Oreos,
go to the grocery store. Enter offer code Crucible.
Oreos, I'm doing this one for free. Please send me Oreos. I will not do this again. Now.
Still can't hear you, Bones. And as always, check us out, crucibleradio.com, at Crucible Radio. Hey, like, you look to play Trials?
Join the Discord, discord.gg/Crucible Radio. Is there anything else we should plug?
I feel like we're at the legal limit for plugs you can tack on to the end of the podcast. Yeah, the FCC is going to revoke our shit in a sec, so...
too soon.
Yeah. Thanks for nothing. Hey, how about this? Here's a plug. Whatever you believe in, whatever is important to you, call your congressperson and let them know. I'm not plugging any issue. Pick what you want. More raccoons just everywhere. Whatever your hot button issue is, do your civic duty, engage, and call your congressperson. It's so easy. Just find their number and leave them a message. I leave Adam Schiff a message literally every day. He's very sick of hearing me on the voicemail, but I do it because that's what good civic duty means.
while you're there, ask them if they can get me a hookup at.
Yeah, see about the Oreo thing. Just check while you're at it. And tune in next week. See you then.
Hello everyone, Swayne here. You know that Crucible Radio is your source for all things Destiny PvP, and I know you want more than just this video, so make sure to head on over to crucibleradio.com to find all of our past episodes, detailed Crucible maps, t-shirts, and much, much more.